All right, starting with Chapter 8, this is the first chapter for Unit 3, and just a reminder to you that Chapter 8, Chapter 10, and Chapter 11 make up Unit 3. There is no Chapter 9, okay? Chapters 8, 10, and 11. So for your studying purposes, just be aware of that one. For the sake of time, just be sure to go through the learning outcomes and be able to do what they ask you to do. And what we're going to start with is a market. And a market is, as you can see here, made up or share several characteristics. Now, I'm going to simplify this. The four characteristics that they share, and make sure you know these. Make sure you know these four characteristics. One is that they are people or organizations. Two, that they have needs or wants. Three, that they have the ability to buy. And four, that they have to be willing to buy your product. Right? And those are the four characteristics that make up a market. All right, market segmentation. We just said on the last slide what a market is. A market segment is when you take that large group of people, that large market, and you break it down into a smaller group of people who share at least one characteristic that causes them to be similar in regards to their needs or their wants. Okay, market segmentation is just the process of breaking them up into those smaller groups. This is just a visual for you to be able to see the concept of market segmentation using age, gender, primarily as the basis for the segmentation. All right, now, why is market segmentation important? Well, up until the 1960s, it was not really used a whole lot. If you think about the soft drink industry, and I think the book uses Coca-Cola as an example, they pretty much had one product back then that if you wanted to drink soda, you wanted to drink a Coke product, you would drink that one soda, that one option. But today, there are many different options that are available in the Coca-Cola product line that are geared towards many different market segments as well. So it is important because it does play a key role in the marketing strategy of organizations. It can lead to a competitive advantage, both of which are major benefits. All right, the criteria for segmentation and for successful market segmentation is shown here on this slide. There are four major criteria that you need to be aware of. And the four criteria are sustainability, identifiability, measurability, and those two are a common one for number 2. Number 3 is accessibility, and number 4 is responsiveness. So you can see exactly how each of them are broken down there, but just remember that the reason that you're segmenting markets and breaking them down and using these criteria are so that you can identify groups of customers with similar needs, similar wants, and then be able to have the analysis of the buying behavior of these groups. Where do they buy? When do they buy? Are they bargain shoppers, impulse buyers? You need to know this information. And then that will help you be able to develop your marketing mix a little bit more. That will help you to be able to get a competitive advantage, hopefully, over that of your competition. So definitely know these four criteria for successful market segmentation. All right, the next slide is going to be the most common basis for market segmentation that is used. Okay, these are the 5 most common, and the next couple slides will break them down a little bit more, but definitely know these 5 bases for market segmentation. All right, now starting with geographic segmentation, this is just based upon where the people live. Region, country, it could be county-wide, even on a smaller scale, and based upon where they live, there are other characteristics like the market size, density, and the climate that could have impacts as well. Now, if you go more regional, there are some companies who do use this regional approach, and the reasons why they do that are shown here on this slide. I like the bottom one, the last one, the quicker reaction to competition, because you can see exactly what they're doing. It's on a much smaller geographic scale. You can react quickly to that. You can also react quickly to the customer's needs and wants. Right? So you have a smaller customer base, a smaller geographic region that you're trying to get at there. Number 2 is demographic segmentation. I would know a couple examples of demographic segmentation as well. Some of the most common ones are on the screen, and they're going to use these different demographics to be able to segment the market into smaller groups as well. Age segmentation, you're familiar with the different ways that markets are broken down by age. We've talked about these already, so this is just a little bit of a review. Gender segmentation, interesting stat is that 85% of consumer goods and purchases are made by women annually. So excluding women from a market segment is excluding 85% of annual sales. So it's something you have to be very careful of. So make sure that, if at all possible, you can even include the fact that women are at least buying products for other people. They might not be geared towards the women, but at least keep in mind that they're going to be buying the products. Income level will have an impact on some consumer markets. There are going to be some products that income level doesn't have quite as much of an impact over as others. So what companies like to do is try to make products that appeal to all different income levels to try to not miss out on any of these demographics. Ethnic segmentation, the 3 largest ethnic groups in the United States currently are Hispanic Americans, African Americans, and Asian Americans. And each of those have unique characteristics that would be able to relate directly to different products. So being able to gear them towards one or the other. But you need to know the different ethnic groups, their backgrounds, their beliefs, so you'll be able to target them, or at least segment your product and your marketing mix appropriately towards them. Family life cycle, not just how old you are, but it is also based upon single or married, if you have kids or if you don't have kids, because all those different stages of life are going to impact what you're buying, who you're buying them for, and it's an easy way to gear a product towards somebody. Right? So just remember that age, marital status, and whether or not you have kids is a very common way of market segmentation. The family life cycle is just a flow chart showing you of the green is just the traditional or the typical American family life cycle. The blues and the yellows are incorporating the high divorce rate that we now have in our country, and how that has to be considered because you have a lot of single parents that have to do things, and there are products that are geared directly towards those who are single parents or those who previously were married and are now divorced as well. All right, psychographic, as you can see here, this is a good definition. Personality, motives, lifestyles, and geodemographics. This is where there are some bases for these psychographic segmentation, which is on the next slide, which will explain this a little bit more. As you can see here, personality and motives. Okay, These are your personality, as you can see here, traits, attitudes, habits that you have as well. Some of my students have a habit of having to chew gum continuously, nonstop. That's something that they can kind of target or use, businesses can use to their advantage as well. Motives are more emotional. Okay. Car makers might appeal to like adults who have kids based upon like crash test ratings, the safety side of things. Lifestyle segmentation here is based a lot of what do you do with your time. Okay, what do you do with your time? What do you like to do in your spare time? Do you enjoy relaxing? Do you enjoy watching television or movies, playing sports, playing an instrument, reading? You know, what is it that you like to do? That's part of this. That's just one example there. Okay, geodemographics is breaking customers down into neighborhood lifestyles. It's a combination of the geographic, where they're living, the demographic, which is like the age, the life cycle, gender, income level, things like that, and then the lifestyle segmentation, which what we just talked about as well. Kind of those three combined into one instead of having them as three separate ones. Benefit segmentation, it's different from other segmentations, different types of segmentations, because it groups potential customers on the basis of their needs and wants instead of some other measurable characteristic. Okay, going through these quickly. And by the way, I would definitely be able to differentiate some of these different types of segmentations. It would make sense for you to be able to know the differences between these, whether it be for the matching vocabulary portion or like a short answer type segment as well. User rate segmentation just breaks people down based upon how much and how often they buy. And the 80-20 principle, sometimes called the 80-20 rule, states that 20% of all customers generate 80% of the demand. All right, the basis for segmenting business markets. Now, these are when the business markets are the customers that are buying your product not for final use. All right, they're buying it for other purposes. And the business market, as you can see on the slide here, the left-hand side of this slide consists of 4 major segments: producers, resellers, governments, and institutions. As you know, as you remember that. So company characteristics do include sometimes geographic location. It could include the type of company that it is, the company size, the products that they use, all of those things. Okay, and that's what I just kind of got a little ahead of myself there, so sorry about that, but those are the things that I just talked about. Alright, and then I'm going to do 2 more slides and then we'll stop for this particular video here. The buying processes, you have satisficers and optimizers. Okay, 2 different purchasing profiles that you can see here. Satisficers contact familiar suppliers and place an order for the company with the first one that satisfies their requirements for the product, their requirements for shipping. But the big thing is they contact the familiar suppliers. Optimizers consider numerous suppliers. They want to get a lot of information from them. They usually get bids from them and then study all the proposals and select the one that they feel is best for what it is that they're looking for. And then buying characteristics. The personal characteristics of the buyers actually can have an influence on their buying behavior as well, and offer a viable basis for segmenting some business markets. So these are just some of the characteristics, the personal characteristics of the buyers that could have an influence as well. All right, and this is where we're going to stop the first video.